Be sure to check out my Veve and Omi investors group in the description down below. Together we build generational wealth and go over everything you need to be profitable in the Veve markets. Yo, what is going on, y'all? I'm Cavell Anderson, and we are back with another Veve and Ecomi video. Now, this one is going to be pretty interesting. In this one, we're going to be going over like just the Omi Token metaverses and basically my $10 prediction and things like this, because it's a lot of information that people are still not realizing is there, or how big and critical some of these things are. Because I've heard people casually say, oh, they think metaverses is going to be this big or that big, and this is all speculation and things like that, because people don't really do research into what this stuff means. So when you say that Veve is going to have a metaverse, they're like, oh, okay, it's just going to be like another game like Fortnite or something like that, when people don't realize that a metaverse is much deeper than a Fortnite, a Call of Duty, or all of that combined. What you have to realize about a metaverse is Fortnite, Call of Duty, Roblox, all of this stuff can exist within a metaverse, which means all of these games combined can literally, games of that caliber can exist within a metaverse. So to think that a metaverse itself is just going to be equivalent to one of those games, it means you kind of don't understand what a metaverse is to begin with. So yeah, we're gonna be going into stuff like this and basically explaining a lot of the price predictions and reasons that I see the things that I see in the way that I see things, basically my perspective towards these things. So yeah, that being said, I mean, I just looked at the Omi token price today. Honestly, I don't look at the Omi token price. You all know that I'm a 10-year holder. I have no reason to be looking at the Omi token price. It's interesting. I mean, it's interesting. It's still low. It's not like I expect it to be high though. That's the thing. Like when in order for me to care enough to look at the Omi token price, I would have to, a catalyst would have to happen, because that's the only time you're going to get information. Like if you're looking at the price of Omi every single day, why? What is your objective? Like what does that do for you? Because you gain nothing from just looking at the price for no reason. Why I would look at the price if a catalyst comes is because I want to know how this catalyst impacts my investment. And based on that information, now you can reassess some of the things that you think are going to happen, and really it's going to be grounded a lot more based in fact. Because if they drop an exchange and the price doesn't move whatsoever, that's information right there. It's like, okay, we have an exchange now and it's still not moving. Or if they drop an exchange and it moons, you're like, okay, so this is what one exchange can do. Now you can analyze, okay, what's the caliber of this exchange? If we have an exchange bigger than this, okay, if this made the token moon, what if we have an exchange bigger than this? That's definitely going to make the token moon. So now you can draw a lot more conclusions based on the information. So that's why I don't look at the Omi token. There's really no reason to. Once you understand that things are not really supposed to move, like the Omi token is not really factored into Veve right now, outside of the burns and stuff like that, there's no utility in things like that. So yeah, that being said, we're gonna jump into some of the biggest catalysts for the Omi token and why I believe that it's going to $10. And basically just like really the only one you really need, but we're gonna talk about a few. We're gonna talk about the metaverse, which in itself is going to be massive. The metaverse is going to be massive. The only thing speculative about if the metaverse is going to be, how big the metaverse is going to be is if Veve is capable of pulling it off or not. That's the only thing in question right now. That's the only speculation. If they create the metaverse, it's not a speculation of what that's going to do, because if you know what a metaverse is and what that means, I mean, it's going to make sense after this video if you don't know. But yeah, we're going to jump into metaverses, crypto, technology, and then some of the other things that's really going to be burning the Omi token, like other projects and stuff that they're going to be working with that's completely outside of Veve, Ecomi, and all of this stuff. Like it's going to be other projects burning the Omi token as well, which is another thing that people don't focus on too heavily. So, because we don't know what that's going to actually do to the token either. So because no catalyst is actually taking place right now, we don't know what everything is going to do. But let me explain the biggest aspect to you all. The metaverse. A metaverse is not just a game like Fortnite. It's almost it's a digital real world. So anything that you can think of in the real world can exist in the metaverse, and probably will exist in the metaverse outside of things like food and stuff like that. I mean that could be a big market too. Like if the food aspect of a metaverse is to buy health and stuff like that for games, I mean, that could be a market as well, but I don't think that that'll probably be the case. That's probably a reach. I think food is probably a reach in a metaverse, mainly because it's just like people are used to playing like free games like Fortnite now. So having to buy health and actually spend money to, like, come on now, people are not just going to do that. So there are limitations of a metaverse, like having to eat or go to the bathroom. You're probably not going to have a water bill in the metaverse. So it's some things that's just completely ridiculous, while others, there's value proposition to having these things within metaverse. So starting off, the school system, the entire school system. Like, keep in mind how big the school system is. Real estate. Real estate is something that can and will exist in metaverses. Gaming, the entire an entire gaming industry. I'm not saying Call of Duty, Fortnite, and all of these games are going to come into the Veveverse, but that's what these metaverses are going to do. They're going to be building games within a metaverse that you have to be a part. Like for instance, like they're going to be building games basically like the same way that the real world does. Like how Call of Duty creates a game for the world. That's what these metaverses are going to do. They're going to eventually start hiring developers to develop games for the people within their metaverses. And I mean, maybe it's going to get to a point where it's, you know how cross-platform is in the real world, we can play with other countries and things like that. It's going to be cross-metaverse and interoperability. That's why that word came about. So things like that, you have to start thinking about the digital world. Why NFTs are so valuable is because it's created a way for us to really take digital things to the next level with ownership. And that means a lot because you can have things like a school system now. You can have things like real estate, gaming, gambling, the gambling industry, collectibles, music, sports, automobiles, and then research. Obviously, you're going to have to research these things. You're going to have to and research is key as well, because you're going to have to research each one of these things. Like you have to research more into the school system. Are our children actually learning from this? Is this more or less effective than real life schooling was? Like, what is the value and benefit of doing it in the metaverse? Like really having classes here, it saves the commute. Kids can be in a safe environment or a good space and things like that. It's like, it's going to have to be research done into the effects of the school system being within a metaverse. But that is also included in a metaverse. Same with real estate. Like there's going to be research that needs to be done into all of these different categories. So when you factor in what a metaverse is designed to be, which is basically the real world in digital form, and now thanks to NFTs, we're able to really track things properly and track ownership, and we're able to do this stuff thanks to the development of NFTs. It's a lot of stuff that you have to start thinking different about a lot of different things. So let's look at some of these markets, man. So the global real estate market right here. Look at this. This is the global real estate market in 2020, 326 trillion. Now, and keep in mind, when I show these numbers and stuff like this does not mean that I think that the entire real estate market is going to come over to the metaverse. So now Veve's metaverse is going to be worth 300 trillion because now we have access to every country in the world. And like, you know, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm doing is showing you all a number of what the global real estate market is worth. And so you can realize that where we're heading to digital, this is going to be, it's going to be essentially the same thing. So there is going to be a piece or fraction of this because digital real estate is going to be important as well. Obviously, in the physical world, you're always going to need some place to live because you can't get, well, you can get in the metaverse if you're not in your own home in the physical world. But I mean, you know, you get what I mean. People are going to need a place to live. People are going to need places to be. Like there's going to be stores. There's going to be things in the physical world. So when we talk about global real estate, I'm pretty sure this includes not just property owned and houses and stuff like that, but businesses and buildings and things like that. Just really real estate in every country, I would assume, is what this is. Actually, growth was driven by residential, which is by far the largest real estate sector, accounting for 79% of all global real estate estimated value. So I guess the residential is actually what's pretty massive. So, well, obviously, it's a lot of people and people need places to live. So that's actually pretty obvious. But yeah. So basically, the point of this is people are also going to need a place to live in the metaverse, a place to store things, a place to call their own and have their own. And that's exactly what metaverses are going to be built to do. This is why I asked David Yu. I got into a chat with David Yu maybe like 5 months ago now. It was a while ago. I asked him, did he have any intentions on attacking the real estate market? Because you know how the real world real estate is going to become tied to NFTs at some point as well. Now, I'm not saying a company like Veve is going to be handling that, even though a company like Veve could handle something like that. But I think their goal and their focus really is just the digital space. I don't think that they have any interest in attacking things in the physical world, especially industries such as the real estate market. I could be wrong, but anyway, what David Yu told me was that their focus is actually going to be on digital real estate. It's going to be on the digital real estate side of things. That's what they want to jump into. That's what they want to focus on. So the digital real estate is going to be a very, very big deal to them. Now, I don't know their plans, exactly where they're planning to go with it. We know that they're going to have Veve City. We know that they're planning to have cities for all their different brands and things like that. And obviously, just like in the real world, if you have some of these big businesses, places like it increases the value of the area. If you have Disneyland in your city, that increases the value of everything around it because Disney is such a big and popular attraction. So you have to really consider how the real world works. What's going to make things valuable within a metaverse is what's positioned around it. So you have some metaverses out here that sell in land and things like that, but you have to think what is actually in their metaverse, what's on this land. If they just have game created things or metaverse created things, that's not as valuable as all the IP Veve has. Now, I know that IP for a lot of people is a different concern, and because people are like, yo, Veve is taking quite a while to do this. How long do they have these licenses for? And things like that. That's a big concern to some people who don't really realize that this stuff that they have this stuff. These NFTs, these very first NFTs, they have this already. This is like, if they lose all the licenses today, they already have this stuff. So that's permanent. That's written in stone. That's in the history books already. But regardless, basically the point is what creates value on the land is what's in it. And Veve has some of the most powerful, the most powerful brands in human history. Like Veve has the most powerful. Like that's what's going to be on Veve's land. So that is what's going to be creating all this value. And like it's the stuff that's on Veve's land. So let's keep diving in. Let's keep diving in a little bit. Like the real estate by far is going to be the biggest. And David Yu has said that the Veve real estate is going to be one of their biggest focus points. So yeah, that's massive. Next, the gaming industry. 90 billion in 2020. So this is the global gaming industry, 90 billion. Oh, actually gaming industry. This might not be global. I don't know. But this is just to give you some rough numbers and rough estimates to where things are. Like I said, this may not be an exact match. The real world gaming industry, like the physical world gaming industry, could be way bigger than the new age of metaverse games and NFT games and things like that. The physical world could be bigger and better, or the new metaverse gaming could just overtake this. Like, we don't know. It could be way less, could be way higher. Anything could happen there. That is where you get to the point where things is speculation. It's not a speculation that gaming is going to be in the metaverses. It's a speculation of how big gaming is going to be. And if people are buying real estate, buying all this stuff, going in here for an experience and to make things easier, and now gaming within metaverses, you can get paid to play them. Like, this is where you're going to want to be. Like real regular people are going to be able to make a living and make money from playing video games now. You're going to be able to make money living in metaverses and doing things in the metaverse. Like, it's going to be a lot of money in the metaverse. And you want to know why this is much better for businesses? Any business. Because it's one thing to run an ad on television, and now somebody got to get out of their bedroom, go walk to the store and get whatever that ad was for. It's a one thing for that. But if everything that you start to do day in and day out, even working, is done through metaverses, the way that this benefits every company in the world is that now you're at a computer, you're sitting at some device, so whatever you need, whatever you want to buy, whatever they're promoting and trying to get you to spend money on, you're just a click away from it now. If they can keep people in their homes and attention's on this screen, if they can keep people there, now that's easy money. That's easy. That is what this world is built on money. Now that's a whole different that's a morality, freaking ethics debate. Like, like I said, in these videos, I never talk about if this is good or bad for the world. Like, I don't know if this is good or bad for the world. This is not something that I sit down, like, these are the type of deep conversation that I would like to have, but it's like people can't even really realize. I feel like people it's not registering what this actually means, that if people don't know that we're even headed in that direction. Look at Twitter, look at Facebook, look at how much time we spend on the internet right now. You want food now, you hop on DoorDash, you hop on Uber Eats, like look, Amazon, you want to shop now, you're starting to shop on Amazon. The world has been moving this way for the longest. The only difference now is now they're all this stuff that used to be separate and used to be, oh, let me go to that website. Let me go to that website now. Let me download that app. All the stuff that used to be separate, now they're putting a whole world around it. So it's just one big world that has all of this stuff that you already use. That's all that's happening right now. Instead of stuff being so separate, everything's separate. Everything is going to be interoperable. Everything is going to exist in a new space, in a new world. That's what's happening right now. It's been happening. Like, this has been happening from the start. So people are talking about, oh, they speculate that this is happening. There's no speculation here whatsoever. The world has been moving here. You use Twitter, you use Facebook, you're using DoorDash, you use Amazon Prime. Like you're using this stuff. So how can you say it's speculation? This is what this means. Like, this is what we're evolving to. This is where we're going next. If you don't realize why a metaverse is key in that and why NFTs allowed this to be possible, now that we can prove ownership, that means that you need to do more research into what this technology means. Because honestly, the more that I think about what this does, it is scary. It's very, very scary, the way that life could be within the next 10, 20 years. It is absolutely terrifying what things could become. And if people are so late to catch on to what we're becoming, it's going to be too late for anything to be done. Like, the metaverse is inevitable. The metaverse is going to take over the world, but it doesn't have to be in a position where we can't shape it and mold it how the people see fit. And the thing is, all these great minds who care about the animals and who cares about the energy in the world and stuff like that, which a lot of that shit is bullshit, because when these companies are making your favorite book or making your favorite movie, like when they shooting movies and film, like every part of that process is good for the world, I don't think so. But because it's something that you like, you don't care about it. But still, we have some great minds who do jump on causes. And as long as you're against NFTs and things like this, and you can't even see what metaverses are going to do and all of that, we don't have these minds working for us to shape this the way that it needs to be shaped. We've been going in this direction. It's too late to turn back now. But it's not too late to really build this how it needs to be built. So yeah, like, this is just, I'm trying to really break this down in as much detail as possible, man. The global schooling market, global schooling. What was this at? Okay, 78.7 billion. Now, I don't know if this is really this cheap. That seems very, very low to me. And if this is how big the schooling market is, this is really sad. This is why so many people go to school, and school is just not designed to, to really educate people the way that people need to be educated, and to really teach you the things that you need to know. It's designed to create workers. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is really all that is worth. Like, but it's sad. That's not enough money. That's not enough money. Like, look at the housing market. Look at the housing. This is how many people. This is how many people buying houses out here. This type of number. We can't even get one of those trillion. We can't even get one of those trillion in our schools. We can't get one of those trillions in our schools. That's really sad. But anyway, this is not a preaching about that topic either. So let's just go through some of these. And I'll also repeat, like I said, that does not mean the entire, but lately with COVID and all of this, now a lot of Zoom meetings and things like that, a lot of schooling is done online anyway. In college, like, even when I dropped out of college, back then, like, I dropped out of college because I'm sitting here in a class where our teacher sits at the front of the room and has us on the computer taking a whole class on the computer. Like, what the hell are you in this room for? Why am I in this room? This could be done from home. And the reason that I went to a school is because I wanted to do stuff in the school, not be on a computer in the class. It's like, if I wanted to sit at home on a computer, I could just be at home Googling. What am I paying for college for? And that's what made me drop out. It's like, bro, what am I doing? Plus, I already knew everything that they was teaching. So it was just like the school system is crazy. But then we have the global gambling market, 59 billion, expected to grow to 92 billion. So look, 59 billion expected to grow to 92 billion. So global gambling is going up, and it's online gambling. This is the online gambling aspect. So gambling is going to be huge. We know that that's going to be in metaverses. Collectibles, global collectibles, 372 billion. This is specifically what Veve's NFTs are focused on right now. This is the smallest aspect of Veve, by the way. This is what's going to be the smallest aspect of Veve. And check, like, look at that, 372 billion. Now, once again, I have to keep saying it. This does not mean that Veve's collectibles are going to be priced like this. It just means that you can see if certain percentages of all of this stuff comes to Veve, we easily hit a $2 trillion market cap. Easily. If we get a percentage of every single category that's going to be in the metaverse, because it's going to be in the metaverse, come on now, the metaverse by itself is capable of bringing a $10 Omi. Like, this is basically the point that I'm making right now. The metaverse by itself. We're not talking about some Dogecoin factor. Like if we're gonna get into the last, we're gonna get into the last few things here, but the metaverse by itself is more impactful than people realize. Look at this. So the music market, 70 billion for the music market, 388 billion for the sports market, global sports market. The automobile industry. Now, I don't have the global. I couldn't find the global information for this, but just the UK is 78 billion, and just the United States is 1.2 trillion. So 1.2 trillion, 78 billion. I'm pretty sure China I'm pretty sure those countries, the Asian countries, have the most vehicles in the world. So it's probably well over 1 trillion. So this market is pretty massive as well. But obviously you may not need things like gas and stuff like that. We don't know how detailed the automobile industry is going to be in a metaverse. So yeah, but this is just to show you that metaverses by themselves are capable of bringing a $10 Omi. If you really dive deep into what this means. So just dive deep into one of these. If you're gonna dive deep into anything, dive deep into real estate. Think to yourself, what would we need if we're gonna really go hard with real estate in the metaverse, what are we gonna need? What's gonna be built on it? How does property and values increase by what's in the area? Who's living there is gonna be more valuable living by them. If Steph Curry comes into our metaverse, he buys a home somewhere, let's say he's somewhere far away from Veve City, Disney, and all of that stuff. Now the area Steph Curry in is now a valuable area because Steph Curry's there. So like you really have to think about this. You live by Steph Curry now. So he just increased the property value in the whole area. Let's say Snoop Dogg is over there. Lil Durk is over there. Michael Jordan is back there. Like, all we need is for big influencers and people to start being in these, and being like, these people are going to become more active in metaverses. And wherever they are positioned, the property values are going to go up. That's not even including the big old brands in these metaverses as well. So think about the impact and the implications of a metaverse by itself, and you can understand a $10 Omi if you really start to dive deep. But moving on from that, let's talk about crypto a little bit. We got the Dogecoin luck factor that could happen. The Dogecoin luck, like the right celebrity tweet about it. Like I said, the right celebrity moves somewhere in Veve. That's all it takes. That luck factor. Deflationary, the fact that it's deflationary. The fact of the matter is this token is designed to be a utility token. That means it's going to get utilized. People are going to use this token. So that means the more people use this, the more it's going to burn the Omi token. The more it burns, the more scarce the token becomes, the more valuable it's going to be. It's going to become more valuable the more that it's used. The second that they link Veve to Omi, this token starts to become more valuable. It starts to become more valuable with everything done within the metaverse. It's that simple. It's that simple. So the deflationary aspect is massive in itself. Then it has a utility-driven, it's utility-driven bear market resistance. I'll say that again, utility-driven bear market resistance. That's massive. Now, obviously, people are going to say, oh, why is it still fluctuating with the bear market? There's no utility. It's utility-driven. So when you think about something being utility-driven, that means once the utility is in place, that's when it's going to resist the bear market, because you're going to have people active on Veve that anytime crypto is going down, these people are still buying things because drops are happening on Veve. that is what causes that resistance. You have crypto people selling, crypto people are selling, and Veve people are buying. So it stays, it's like, you know, yin and yang. They balance each other out until one becomes greater. And crypto investing is always going to be a minimal part of the world. Investors, and like, this is going to be a minimal part of the world. So if we can get to the point where we have maybe a few million investors, and then we have 100 million Veve users, no matter what these investors do, it has no impact on the market. And that is where we reach bear market proof. So obviously it's a lot of work to get there. It's going to resist for a while. It's going to be resistant as we grow, because don't get it twisted. Even though it's more people who are just regular people who's going to enjoy Veve, this side, like the investors, have a lot of money, have a lot more than most of the people who's going to be on this side. But once you get enough people in there, all that money combined, this side ain't gonna be able to do nothing with it. Especially if we get 100 million people. Come on now, you're gonna have to have Elon Musk or you know, something crazy to really be able to impact. So yeah, that like that. So then we have staking as well. Staking is another crypto side that really gets slept on. Staking is going to be big for the Omi token. Now, so the crypto side by itself could make this could get us right there closer to $10. Not $10 exactly. Like, I think it's going to take more than just the crypto side to boost this to $10. But hey, I could be wrong. Like, we've seen stuff crazy happen with Dogecoin. Like I said, the Dogecoin luck factor, if something like that happens, we don't know where it could go. Could it get us to $10? I mean, I know it could get us to $1. Now, $10 is a huge ask. I think the metaverse definitely is the biggest driving factor in going to something like $10. It's definitely the biggest driving factor. Technology aspect. You got the web application, the desktop application, iPhone, Android, all the different devices that this is going to be on. Like, all the different devices and worlds this is going to be in. Like, what if we have some type of 3D or virtual reality device that we have to use, like Oculus? Like, what if we get put on Oculus? Like, all this stuff, the technology aspect of this company could really boost the value of the token, and it expands who's going to have Veve and things like that, and who has access. It grants more access to people. And then last but not least, we have the other companies that's going to be using the Omi token and burning the Omi token. Right now, we have Immutable X. We still aren't very clear on the details of how it's going to be used on Immutable X. We know that they're allowing people to spend Omi to buy things on Immutable X. We don't know. I don't think we know how the burns is going to work. I don't think we have too much more info outside of the fact that we've seen Omi on Immutable. So that being said, I just wanted to share all this information with you all because it's very, very important that you understand this information, and people aren't just out here really confused about how people are getting to these type of valuations. Just really digging deep and really thinking outside of the box and really understanding where the world is going and not where we are. Like, when people are talking about, oh, look what, like, that would make it bigger than Ethereum, that would make it bigger than Bitcoin and things like that, people aren't thinking about the fact that this world has been progressing in a direction and we're about to move in a direction that we have never been in before. Like, people are thinking about what's happened in the past. The world is going to be unrecognizable. We're really moving into one of those worlds where, like, you're probably going to become a weirdo soon if you're outside type of thing. No time soon. No time soon for that. But, you know, like, that's the direction we're moving. Like, you see these movies and stuff where it's like the cool thing is going to be in the house. Like, the cool thing is going to be to be in the house and be in these worlds. Now, is that good or bad? It's a whole different conversation, but hopefully this shed a little bit of light into my thinking and my logic and things like that, because this stuff is already happening. These industries already exist, and this shift into the metaverse and moving in this direction, it's been happening already. This is not something that's speculated. This is not something I think. The only ththing that you can really speculate on is the numbers, how big, how much this is going to be worth and things like that. Now, if you want to argue that you don't think Veve can bring in a huge amount of people from out of the world, I mean, if that's your argument, I mean, we don't know if Veve can bring in all the world, but they've done no promotion, no advertisement, and no anything. And look at how many people are on Veve right now, just with collectibles. So what if they have automobiles? Like, what if they start adding these different categories? Okay, they got real estate. They got the gaming market now. They got school. Come on now. I mean, they're doing this just with teasing a few collectibles brands, but I digress. Let me know what you all think. Be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, Turn on notifications so you stay updated with everything going on. And yeah, I'm gonna catch you all on the next one. Peace out, Joe.